and I must confess, let me say this on national television.
Okay.
I may have been wrong about Mr. Brandon Ingram.
Oh.
I may have been wrong about that kid.
People's Kid, how we doing? It's your boy Kobe back at it again with another video, and as always, hope you guys are having a blessed day. Back to school for a lot of college kids out there, and I thought I might as well make a video for the guys who would be ordering textbooks right now if it wasn't for the fact they were making millions of dollars playing in the NBA. Yep, today's ranking has to do with the very best players in the league aged 21 and under. Now, in case it wasn't obvious enough, I'm including all players at the time of this video who are currently either 21 years old or younger. In a few months, there may be a couple guys on this list who have turned 22, so please don't be that person in the comments that says, hey, this player isn't 21, he's 22. Anyways, all jokes aside, per usual, if you guys enjoyed the vid, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And with that said, let's hop right into it. Honorable mention number 1, Lonzo Ball, New Orleans Pelicans, age 21. To say this is a make or break year for determining the potential of Lonzo Ball would be an understatement. After 2 very interesting years playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, Ball was one of the players traded to New Orleans in the Anthony Davis package earlier this summer. While certainly not producing at the rate of a number 2 pick in the NBA draft so far in his career, Ball has shown his excellent feel for the game as a ball distributor, yet maintains a shooting form that only a mother could love. To be blunt, when you're a point guard that has a career 43% free throw percentage, the fact that he's able to make the honorable mentions is a feat in itself. Unfortunately, my guess is to expect more of the same in year 3. Honorable mention number 2, RJ Barrett, New York Knicks, age 19. When doing a ranking list prior to the start of the season, there is always going to be a bit of speculation for players that are coming into the league fresh. Perhaps the most polarizing player in the 2019 NBA draft, RJ Barrett's career outlook is divided into 2 camps. One group of fans are either in the camp of RJ will be a perennial all-star for years to come, and one group is in the camp of he will be one of the biggest busts of the last decade. For those that argue the latter, you probably felt justified watching him in his first few games of Summer League, forcing up shots and being a bit less polished in the pick and roll that you would hope for. But as early struggles can often be an aberration, Barrett found his stride by the end of the 2-week session and became the first player in Las Vegas Summer League history to average 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists a game. Pretty random, but an accomplishment nonetheless. So while his shooting line might not look pretty, thanks to a garbage Knicks roster, it is almost a certainty the production will be there in year 1 of his NBA career. Number 10, Ja Morant, Memphis Grizzlies, age 20. After a phenomenal March where he became a household name in college hoops across the country, it has been a very quiet summer for Ja Morant after being drafted number 2 overall by the Memphis Grizzlies. Opting not to play in Summer League, this spot on the list is based solely on his reputation and expectation that he will prove to be one of the best young players in the NBA. Because for a player that averaged 24.5 points, 5.7 rebounds, 10 assists, and 1.8 steals last season at Murray State, it is hard not to recognize the bubbling upside Ja carries in his game as both a scorer, floor general, and even defender. So even with 23-year-old Tyus Jones nabbing a 3-year, $28 million deal from Memphis, and possibly starting the season as the team's starting point guard, it will only take a couple highlights like these for the Grizzlies to take off the training wheels and go full throttle. Number 9, Marvin Bagley Jr., Sacramento Kings, age 20. It was only a few years ago Marvin Bagley was considered the next big thing and playing alongside James Harden in the Drew League before heading to Duke for his lone year in college. Drafted number 2 overall in the 2018 NBA draft, it isn't like Bagley had a disappointing rookie season, but his star did come down a bit, as I guess it is easy to be forgotten playing in Sacramento. In addition to this, due to his dilemma as a tweener between the 4 and 5 position, Bagley wasn't necessarily getting all the minutes he can handle in his first year, as the Sacramento Kings coaching staff tried out plenty of lineups with the young and scrappy roster. Even with that said though, Marvin still managed to average 14.9 points and 7.6 rebounds in around 25 minutes per contest, with a nice uptick to 18.5 points and 9.2 rebounds in the post-All-Star break split. Due to his wiry frame and fantastic leaping ability, Bagley should steadily improve on his pedestrian 1 block per game and become a respected rim protector that would help Luke Walton feel comfortable playing him at the 5 for stretches. And if he could work on his shooting to become a consistent source of production in the pick and pop, barring injury, an all-star bid could be in the near future. Number 8, DeAndre Aydin, Phoenix Suns, age 21. For those wondering if this is perhaps too low of a ranking for the top overall pick in the 2018 NBA draft, let me first talk about the good of DeAndre Aydin's rookie season. Averaging 16.3 points and 10.3 rebounds a contest in 71 games, Aydin's size and strength transferred seamlessly in the NBA, and he was able to use his physical advantage alongside his quality footwork to punch in a healthy and respectable campaign in year 1. Unfortunately, due to the shift of the league away from traditional big men, DeAndre's value is not exactly what it would be in eras prior, simply because of his limited defensive versatility at 7'1". With many teams having small ball lineups throughout the course of a game, there are a few times where Aydin may be a bit mismatched and even perhaps a liability, mainly due to his inability to switch on smaller opponents. Yet arguably the bigger issue for Aydin and the Suns going forward was DeAndre's alarming inactivity as a rim protector, averaging only 0.9 blocks per game, along with advanced statistics putting him as one of the worst defending centers in the NBA. Because despite his athleticism and elite 7'5" wingspan, Aydin has yet to show he has the instincts and hunger to become the all-NBA defender his physical tools give him the opportunity to be. I guess we'll have to wait and see if things change, because at the end of the day, no matter how many points he can put up, DeAndre's ultimate value as a big man in this league will be directly correlated to his defensive contributions, in particular altering shots. Number 7, Jayson Tatum, Boston Celtics, age 21. In this crazy cycle of future NBA prospects and hype with new players coming to the league every year, it is amazing to think how quickly a player can sound like old news. After a handful of impressive and eye-opening performances in the 2018 playoffs that had him going head-to-head with LeBron James, Celtics forward Jayson Tatum was believed to be up next as one of the premier NBA stars in the league, and another major investment win by Danny Ainge in the Boston front office. But after constant rumors of being a prized trade piece for Anthony Davis, Tatum's play in the 2018-19 season slowly veered away from being worthy of this acclaim, as his growth in year 2 was a bit stagnant playing alongside Kyrie Irving. And if we pull up the side-by-side stat comparisons of his first and second season, you can see the same story is being told on paper, despite averaging a tad bit more per game in 2019. Although Celtic fans are hoping Tatum's game will explode now that he is free from Irving's ball dominance, there is definitely room for improvement that goes well beyond his playing situation. Even going back to his Duke days in college, Tatum can be prone to force the issue a bit in moments he doesn't need to, and it is these poor shooting tendencies that will further the claim of him being a player who can score but not much else. With such a varied and versatile skill set at such a young age, I wouldn't be surprised if Tatum makes the improvements in year 3 that we all expected after the show he put on in the 2018 Eastern Conference Finals. Number 6, Jaren Jackson Jr., Memphis Grizzlies, age 19. Man, the more tape I watch on this guy, the more I think the Grizzlies have found themselves a future NBA star. A rare one and done from the program of Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans, Jackson did not take long to show why the Grizzlies were fortunate enough to select him with the number 4 overall pick. Long, strong, and deceptively quick, Jackson Jr. is already one of the more versatile players in the NBA, having no problem guarding players 1 through 5 in situations that call for potential switching. While primarily going up against bigs at a height of 6'11" and a 7'4" wingspan, Jackson also possesses excellent ball skills for a player that size and has already proven to be a capable shooter from 3 and the free throw line, shooting 35% and 76% respectively. Because the Grizzlies took precaution with him in his rookie season, Jackson's average of 13.8 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks a contest are a bit misleading, as he did that in only about 25 minutes of game action. And because his season was cut short a few months early due to injury, we didn't even get to see the post-All-Star bump we usually see from rookies who have gotten a few months to adjust to the NBA game. Now, it wasn't all roses for Jaren, as his rebounding rate should have certainly been a lot better for a guy his size, and his penchant for blocks often comes with a lot of fouls. Yet, with all that said, If the Grizzlies commit to play him around 32 to 34 minutes a game in year 2, forget about it. Barring injury, there is no doubt in my mind he will become a household name across the league. I'll leave you with 3 words. Anthony Davis-like potential. Okay, technically 4 words. Number 5, Brandon Ingram, New Orleans Pelicans, age 21. Given the fact that he's been in the league for 3 years at this point, perhaps I might be giving Ingram a bit more credit than he deserves with respect to his ranking, but at the same time, I think the growth he showed in the second half of the 2018-19 season is what brought the Pelicans over the hump and finally trading Anthony Davis to the Lakers. Simply put, there are still very few players in the NBA that can boast the physical profile of Ingram in combination with his scoring ability. I know a lot of us like to joke that he's the dollar store version of Kevin Durant, but even if that is the case, it is certainly not a bad spot to be at when being just 21 years old. Averaging 18 points on around 49% shooting for the Lakers in year 3, Ingram will look to find his place on a team where there will certainly be opportunities to contribute as New Orleans begins the rebuild process without Anthony Davis. And while the blood clot situation he had to deal with at the end of the year is definitely a bit scary, it sounds like he is ready to go and does not expect the issue to be lingering. As a result, despite his ups and downs, Brandon still carries all the potential in the world. Number 4, Trae Young, Atlanta Hawks, age 20. I think I can speak for a lot of NBA fans who earned a lot of respect for Trae Young by the time the season completed. After quite frankly embarrassing himself a bit with some brutal performances early on in the season that made us wonder if he was even a good 3-point shooter, Young continued to stick with it through his struggles and finished the year with one of the best rookie campaigns, averaging 19.1 points and 8.1 assists for a Hawks team that desperately welcomed his development after betting big on him in the 2018 NBA draft. To help paint a picture on how much better Trae got by the time the year was complete, take a look at his pre and post All-Star Game splits. I mean, come on guys, 24.7 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 9.2 assists a game on a 44-34-88 split isn't just good, that's in line with the top 5 point guards in the entire league. Of course, his defense will never bring him awards, and he will always be a bit undersized, but can you imagine if he can not only keep the pace he finished with last year, but also expand on it in year 2? Forget potential all-star, this dude can one day perhaps win an MVP if the Hawks ever figure it out. Number 3, De'Aaron Fox, Sacramento Kings, age 21. If we took all the players in the 2017 NBA draft and compared who made the biggest leap in year 1 to year 2, there is little question De'Aaron Fox would be the player at the top of the board. After having a promising rookie season where Fox showed why the Kings drafted him 5th overall, De'Aaron became an official problem for NBA opponents in his second year, averaging 17.3 points, 3.8 rebounds, 7.6 assists, and 1.6 steals a contest in just 31.4 minutes. Some people say speed kills, and in De'Aaron's case, it proves to be true as going end-to-end for him on the fast break became a recreational hobby for most of the year. And considering he showed vast improvements in his shooting, I hate to kick a guy when he's down, but are we so sure he isn't already better than the injured John Wall? Perhaps it is a bit too soon to make that claim, but with the coveted year 3 of development still ahead of him, I have little doubt Fox will soon take the crown as the best Kentucky point guard in the league. Number 2, Zion Williamson, New Orleans Pelicans, age 19. Yep, I'm not going to sugarcoat this one here. Without yet playing a single game in the NBA, I'm already putting Zion Williamson at number 2 on the list of players ranked 21 and under. Before you call me a hype beast or come at me in the comments for the hot take, let me first explain my reasoning as to why he deserves this spot. Beyond what we witnessed from him during his freshman year at Duke last year, the excitement Williamson had attached to his name extends well before his time in college. And rightfully so, as nearly everyone who has watched Williamson play for just a few minutes completely drops what they're doing and marvels at what he's able to do. So with that said, let me ask a question. How many of you watching would trade Zion Williamson straight up for any of the one players I mentioned before? Would you trade him for Tatum? Would you trade him for Fox? Would you trade him for Jackson, who I am a huge fan of? In truth, the answer for any rational GM is no, you would not, because we know that Zion Williamson has the potential to be an NBA superstar not only from day one, but quite possibly the best player in the league once he reaches his prime. As the notorious Terrell Owens would say, get your popcorn ready, New Orleans. Number 1, Markelle Fultz, Orlando. Number 1, Luka Doncic, Dallas Mavericks, age 20. Any casual NBA fan that follows the game knows that Doncic at number 1 here is as surprising as Kendall Jenner making moves with another NBA player. All kidding aside, in his first year at the Dallas Mavericks, Luka put himself in rare company, averaging 21.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 6 assists a contest at age 19 years old, becoming just the 5th rookie in NBA history to average 20 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists. Surprisingly enough though, because of his background playing professionally in Spain before coming to the league, there are some analysts that predict his upside moving forward from here is limited than a player coming out of college. As you can imagine, I find this point to be completely nonsensical, as you show me a 20-year-old player and I can show you, no joke, at least 10 to 15 things they can do to work on their game. Because at just 20 years old, Luka is just at the surface of what he can be at age 27 or 28. If he can work on his shooting and develop some game in the low post, I have no doubt he will one day be competing for NBA titles as one of the main faces in the league. And it is for that reason, and some other reasons that go without saying, he tops the list at number 1 of the 10 best NBA players ranked 21 and under. Anyways guys, that's the video, hope you enjoyed. Just a fun list going over some of the youngest players in the NBA. Let me know what you guys think, any players I missed, did I rank any too high? Comment your thoughts below. With that said, hope you guys have a great rest of the day, or night, or whatever time it is. I'll be back at it soon. Peace out.